Hello everybody and welcome back to Music Ed Now. In today's video we're looking at 7 Google Slides tips for music teachers. If you're new here, Music Ed Now is all about sharing useful tips and resources with music teachers. So please consider hitting subscribe to be in the know for all future uploads. Without further delay, let's hop into Google Slides tip number 1. So tip number 1 is about using YouTube videos to act as audio in your Google Slides. I have a sample slide here which says spot the musical features. The task for students will be to identify the instrument playing the melody, the texture and so on of the audio that plays. And if I scroll up, you'll see where I've hidden the audio. To insert a video, all you do is press insert, go to video, and then you can search YouTube, or if you have the URL, you can go for that too. You can also insert one from your own Google Drive. Then what you want to do is make sure that the video is touching the slide. So you'll see the red line appear there, which means it's touching. And in the format options, under video playback, I have this video playing automatically when we go into presentation mode. And you can also set, which is very handy if you only want to play a snippet of the music, you can set the start point and the end point. So if I go into full screen mode and presentation mode, firstly, you won't be able to see the video. And secondly, it'll start to play automatically. Like that. Tip number 2 in Google Slides is using the theme builder to bank resources. The idea for theme builder is to keep your slides consistent throughout a presentation, but the way I'm using it here is to build up a bank of listening resources. I've named this project Listening Log, and the idea here is that students would be able to select their own song or piece to listen to, and then identify 4 different features of the music to talk about. In the student view, they would be able to insert the date, the song or piece, and then they could also insert the URL link to the song so that the teacher can check homework. Then they can also insert the feature that they're talking about and then add in their answer for the feature in that music. So this is a student-led one where they choose their own piece of music. But if I come over here to where you can insert a new slide and come to the drop down, you'll see I've pre-made some listening banks already. If I take this one, for example, As It Was by Harry Styles. This time the title is already set. The student can click to add the date. In presentation mode, they'll be able to play this video to hear the music. And this time the features have been set. So feature 1, they have to look for what the structure in song sections is, and they'll type in their answer down here. Feature 2 says instruments, and they have to name 4 instruments. Again, they can type in their answer there. Feature 3 is describe the melodic riff at the beginning. And again, they can describe the melody that happens in that by clicking description. And finally, they have to describe one feature of the rhythm. And again, the description can be added in there. So 2 ways of doing it. Student chooses the music and the features and adds in their answers. Or you can preordain what happens here. The good thing about Theme Builder is the student won't be able to move things around. Everything stays stationary. So here's how we do it. Go up to View. Go to where it says Theme Builder, and here's where you can create your custom slides to appear. The first thing to be aware of is there's a difference between this theme section and layout section. The theme section dictates what every slide is going to look like. So if you want a common background color, like the light yellow that you see here, and you want to apply it to all slides, you'll do that here in the theme section. I also have listening log and these 2 GIFs as being common to every slide, alongside the date, song piece, text boxes, and 4 features, and that's common to every new slide I create. Within each layout then, you have the ability to change different things. If I come down to layout, and I've named this one Listening Log Student Choice, and to rename, you just click the rename button. I'm going to delete what I have here already just to show you how to make this from scratch. And if I want the student to have the ability to type in an answer for song or piece, so the song title, I'll come up here to the text. Instead of clicking text box, I'm going to put in title placeholder. And then I can decide where I'm going to put that in. So I want the student to be able to type in here. At this point, I can also make adjustments to the format so that everything stays the same, but I'm happy enough with this for now. And then the student has the ability to type in there when we go back to the main presentation. You'll see that click to add title is now there for the student. Coming back into Theme Builder again, and I'm going to show you how you can bank up the listening exercises then. Here I have Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. So in this example, in order to set Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls as the text that the student sees and can't edit, in this text drop down this time, you're going to hit text box. And then when the student's in the view of the presentation, not Theme Builder, they'll just see this Iris by Goo Goo Dolls and won't be able to change that title. Similarly, I've done the same for feature 1. I've put in texture here, the instrument's name 4, and so on. And this gives me the ability to change and focus the lesson plan depending on what we're doing in class that day. The only things that the student can access here are click to edit the date. They have the ability to change their answers by clicking into the text placeholder on the description. And then the other thing that they can't manipulate, other than hearing it play back in presentation mode, is this video. So I've just got this from YouTube, like in tip 1. And in the video playback options, you'll see I've put in timestamps. So from 48 to 1:15, which focuses the student's attention, and also that this will play automatically in presentation mode. I'll exit Theme Builder now to show you how to input that. So if I click my drop down, Iris is here. So you might set this for students, and this is what the student will see. The title is there. The video actually can't be touched or moved until in presentation mode. They can click to add a title. They can click to add their answer on the texture. And to hear it, they'll just go into full presentation mode. And then hit the play button. And it will play from the timestamp that you set in the Theme Builder. The template you're seeing right now is available via the link in the description below. Tip number 3 is a really simple one. It's about using word art instead of text boxes to make more interesting title slides. So I have a presentation here all about rhythm. Instead of using a normal text box, I have gone into Insert and gone down to Word Art. You type in the word you want, and then it will pop up like this. The main reason I use this for title slides is you have a little bit more flexibility with the formatting. First of all, the font is set to Titan 1, which is a nice thick font. If you want to get this yourself, go into more fonts, and then you can look through all the available fonts. There's actually a huge bank of fonts available. Then what I've done is I've changed the outline to black, and I've changed the thickness to, I think it was 4 in this case. So you can make it thicker, the outline. And then you can also add a drop shadow to the background of the text, just to make it pop off the page a bit more. Tip number 4 then is using GIFs and cropping shapes to get more interesting title slides. So I'm on the same slideshow here, but this time I've got various drummers and rhythmic things going on behind the title. In full presentation mode, it looks like this. Again, just to add variety and something more interesting visually for students to look at. So here's how you do it. Go to Insert, go to Image, go to Stock and Web. If you come to the search and put in drum or drummer, go to the GIFs. You can choose anything, and I'll just choose this one for example. If I want it behind, I go to Arrange, and in Order, Send to Back. Oops. Order, bring forward, there you go. So it's in behind the writing right now. As the GIF is selected, I'm going to choose to mask it with a rounded rectangle. You can mask it to any shape that's here. So rounded rectangle for now. And if I go into my crop, I can edit how that looks. Click crop again when you're done. Then you can just move this to wherever you want it. Could duplicate this again to keep this same size. Again, I'll change it to the back. And this time you can just replace the image. Stock and Web, and let's say I want this one. And now what it does is it just replaces the image within that same shape. So there's a uniformity to it. Same kind of idea going on here. So what we need for this to happen is I go into my word art, come to the fonts, and what you're going to need is Zilla Slab Highlight. So there's a very specific font that you need to make this happen. And what it does is it gives us transparency. If I select this word art again and I change the fill color from white to black, you'll see what's happening. So it actually changes all of the area around the writing and leaves the writing transparent. If I move this word out of the way, you're going to see what's happening. So in behind, we've got those GIFs again. And then as I overlay the word art on top, it just puts that movement in the rhythm area. Again, something just nice and fun for a visual effect at the title slides. Tip number 5 is about making drag and drop functionality to make your slides more interactive. So I have here a grid for students to make their own rhythms, and what they can do is grab a yellow square. The idea is that they will clap on the yellow squares. So I've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like that. And what I have here is an endless stack of yellow squares for the students to grab and drag and drop. This is very simple, but here's how you make it. You insert yellow square, and to do that you just put insert, shape, shapes, a rectangle, and I made it into a square, colored it yellow, and put a black background around it. Currently, this is just one square, but if I hit Command and D, that will duplicate it. I'm going to put it on top. So now I've got 2 squares. If I select all of this by holding down my mouse and covering over it, now I've got those 2 selected. I'm going to duplicate those 2. It makes 4. Now I've got 4 squares, and you get the idea here. We duplicate the 4. Now I've got 8. And I'll keep doing this a couple of times until the 2 to the power of puts all those stacks in place. So I'm not keeping count here, but I have more than I'll ever need, or more than a student will ever need to fill out this rhythm. So again, now it appears to the student as though they can just endlessly grab those rhythms to make those rhythms happen. Tip number 6 is about using a Google add-on called Music Snippet. So if you don't know what add-ons are, go to the extensions and you'll see that you can get these things called add-ons. And add-ons simply add extra functionality to Google Slides. You see I've got a couple of add-ons already here, and the one I want to talk about today is Music Snippet. If you open up Music Snippet, which is free to add into your Google Slides, you can click on New Music Snippet. You can say whether you want a single stave, piano stave like this, 2 staves, guitar tablature or ukulele tablature, or unpitched for rhythm. Let's go single stave for now. This then opens up a program that's based off of the interface of Flat.io. So if you know Flat.io, this should look fairly familiar to you. You can add bars by hitting the plus icon here. So for example, if I wanted to write in a 4-bar melody, I can do that. You can change the key by doing this. So let's write a G major melody. And you can change the rhythm by clicking the numbers up the top of your keyboard. And just so I'm not boring you to death here, we're going to add this to our document now. Click insert, give it a second, and there's the melody that you just created. So it's a very quick way. If you didn't want to go into MuseScore or a different software and have to do up the melody, you can kind of do it on the spot as you're making your music. There's other features in Music Snippet that you can upgrade to for a paid option, but the one I've just shown you now is the free version. So you can already start to do lots of cool things with that. And lastly, Google Slides tip number 7 is about changing the layout to A4 size. So sometimes for printing purposes or just for space on the page, it may be more beneficial for you to use A4 sized paper. And how you do this is very simple. You go to File in Google Slides, go down to Page Setup, change the presets from the standard and widescreen and all of that to custom. And if you wanted A4, the centimeters for A4 is 21 by 29.7. When you click apply, that will give you the A4 size. And again, just for a melody writing exercise, here's the use case. So I've inserted an image of a blank stave in C major, 4/4 time, and then I've used my drag and drop stacking option again to take these note values and apply them to the stave. I've given options for crotchet with a downward stem, options for crotchets with upward stems, upward minimums, downward minimums, and so on and so forth. So they can only choose from these options here, but as you'll see here, there's endless duplicates of them there, so they can drag and drop to their heart's content. This is a great one if the student says, oh, I forgot my manuscript today. You can have them still write your melodies. And then I have ones for D major, F major, and so on. If you would like to own this melody writing exercise template with all of the duplicates done for you and with the images inserted, you can download this Google Slides presentation from the link in the description of this video. So there's 7 Google Slides tips to make life in the music classroom that bit easier for you. I hope you found this useful, and until the next time, this has been David Kennedy with Music Ed Now.